So we've got lots of bird action in the prairie today, as usual. Well, good morning, folks. It's just a few days before Thanksgiving, and we're out in the garden to have a look at things. It's just really still beautiful out here. It just amazes me how, even though we don't have the color, and there's still so much to see in the garden, it's just, you see a lot of different textures and all the seed heads, the grasses, the conifers come to life, come to the forefront, and it's just a really good time to look at the garden, see the bones of it, and see how beautiful it really is all times of the year. The native plantings in particular, they just have such lovely seed heads that the birds really, really like. We get so much activity on all of our native plantings. And we've still got some water features going, keeping some heaters in them for a little while. At some point, probably in the next couple of days, we'll be taking some of them down. We do keep one bird bath going all winter for the birds, and they really do appreciate that. So even at this really late time of the season, when it's getting really chilly at night, and you would think that the garden is just gone to sleep, but there is still so much activity. And look at this little girl. And this little girl just adopted us. She's a stray that came in to our yard just a couple of weeks ago. And now she's ours. Or we're hers.
Hello, world.
I'm just trying to make a video, and here you are interrupting me.
You know, that's one of the few things I'm good at. Interruptus meus. With my lovely wife and my newfound friend who came shooting across the street.
No.
In Katie's shrubbery. No fear.
Rita, you have to learn not to do that. How are you doing today? You just won't let me take a picture of you, will you? Should we go for a walk? Let's go for a walk and see what's happening. Uh-oh, what's happening is birds, right? There's little Frida. Loving the great outdoors. So taking a look at our compost bin here, it is full to the brim. Hey, Frida. And look at this temperature. Wow, 135. That is not bad. What's up, Frida? She knows there's voles in there. So here's our pagoda dogwood, all dropped of its leaves, and now that it's bare, as you see, some of these branches here have turned yellow, and that is the canker. So this is something that pagoda dogwoods are subject to, and I just come through and trim out those disease bits. Do that on a regular basis. But this tree generally seems pretty healthy, so I'm not too concerned about it. And here is one of our several leaf bins that we have, full to the top, with maple leaves that my husband has gathered from the neighborhood, since we don't have any maple trees ourselves, or nothing to speak of. But we like to keep all these leaves, and they make a great mulch in addition to the compost bin the following year. So the other two bins of the compost bin are lower down, but they're This is the one that's the most broken down. So it's a good amount of compost in there. Second bin. Get a lot of wonderful compost out of this compost bin. And as we move through the garden, you can see that we just let the leaves drop. A lot of these are coming from the neighbor's tree. I've done some cleanup back here, but not a lot. Frida's on patrol. See any bulls? How about a rabbit? Never mind the birds, though. You can see the wonderful structure of this mussel wood. It's such a beautiful tree. That wonderful muscular bark. This perennial is the Ligularia Britt-Marie Crawford. These are the seed heads. But if you knock the seeds off, you get these wonderful daisy-like bits. And I've used some of these in the window boxes in some of my winter containers. And they're really quite nice. The seed heads of these alliums, which are Millennium, are quite nice with those golden stalks against the background of this thyme, creeping thyme, which is nice and green yet. So that's a nice display. And there's just so many pretty vignettes in the garden like this all over the place. And the hellebores are still green and nice looking. And here's the structure of that very old tree peony, at least 6 feet across. So nice to just stroll along the paths. Come on. And we have definitely left the leaves in our front yard. Collected up neighbors' leaves, shredded them up, using them for a mulch. There's so many pretty textures in the garden at this time of year. The Virginia is looking good. And the creeping thyme just takes on these kind of purplish tones. It just has a really nice look, I think. And the St. John's wort is still hanging in there. The leaves are still just on the plant and turning a nice yellow color. Looking very pretty. We've got the window boxes decorated for the season. The microbiota decotassa has taken on its bronzy color for the winter. And look what just showed up. Snowblower, yay. So with these window boxes, I picked up some pine and fir boughs at the local florist. And this year I also picked up some winterberries, the orange winterberries that you see in here. They add a nice touch. They're kind of pricey, but I splurged and went ahead and got some of those. And they're really pretty. Also in there we have the hydrangeas. This one right here is the culver's root, kind of candelabra looking seed heads. We've got some of the Rudbeckia seed heads in there and the miscanthus little dot grasses. This makes a really nice effect. Unfortunately, one thing I wasn't counting on when I picked up the winterberry branches, which were not cheap, was the fact that, well, that's something the birds like to eat. So in this window box, they've all but disappeared. There's just a couple left in there. But the birds have eaten my winterberries out of this box in record time. Some very expensive bird food. Oh my. She's a climber. What are you doing in there? Oh my God. She is loving it. So I just love having all these textures in the front yard at this time of year. It's so pretty with the grasses and the coneflower seed heads there, which the birds have been using very much. You can see a lot of them have been nibbled on. Got a little color still on the alyssum hanging in there, and with the kale, get a nice colorful head there. I guess it's cabbage. Here's another look at the front yard. All its texture and variety. The hell strip still looking interesting with the heucheras and the virginias. And the Angelina sedum take on some orangey tones at this time of year. And the creeping thyme with the purplish tones. So pretty. And as we continue along the front yard here, you can see all the various textures that are happening in this garden. I think it's just lovely. No boring lawn here. So this is the heptacodium, and with the leaves falling here, you can see the lovely bark that this shrub has. And it's got its winter cage on. Just put that on yesterday, protected from the rabbits. As well as a smoke bush here. Put some spirals, plastic guards on the stems of that. And look at this. Nice, new, smooth road. All the construction is done. It's lovely. And the hell strip bed, I think, is just looking lovely as well. This is the rattlesnake master. And the aster here, the silky aster, is just really, really beautiful, I think. More of the seed heads over here. This lovely aster standing out against the dark pavement. Coneflowers in there, getting a lot of use from the birds. And this little blue stem, just absolutely lovely. Such a beautiful time of the year. The honeysuckle vine is one of the last things to drop its leaves, apparently. Still got a lot of green in there. And the nine barks are also hanging on to their leaves. Beautiful Serbian spruce there, with the oriental spruce in the background. And these lovely grasses, just putting on such a show. This is the miscanthus little dot. Seed heads there with the oriental spruce in the background. This oriental spruce has such a nice bright green color still. This really has a nice look. And here's another one of our leaf bins behind the outbuilding. Pretty much filled to the brim. Lots of maple and oak leaves in here from our neighbor's trees. And we've got another bin here. It's just filled with trimmings from the garden. Some epimediums still looking good there. I just can't say enough good things about the St. John's wort, a native shrub here. It's just starting to get its yellow fall color. It's so pretty with the seed heads. It's just got a great shape and texture. Just kind of glows. Really beautiful. And then you've got the asters right next to it, getting its lovely fluffy seed heads. This is a calico aster. This one's called Lady in Black. So much interesting things to look at this time of year. And of course the hydrangeas with all their lovely dried flowers. And this very interesting magnolia hanging on to just a few leaves yet, but they are big ones. The lovely look of the Virginias this time of year. All the paperbark maple leaves on the ground, looking so pretty up against the little blue stem. Really pretty bark of the paperbark maple. All native plantings in here. Just a few monardas in there and asters. Native delphiniums mixed in with the little blue stem. We've got the two urns on the patio, decorated for the season. And that miscanthus grass just is so striking in containers. I really like it. Those pine cones are from the oriental spruce. And the stems that they're on, perched on, are some ironwood, or I should say ironweed stems that I cut down. There's a few branches from the smoke bush in there as well. It's very simple but pretty display. And this lovely edging of Virginia taking on the fall color. And if you take a close look at this thyme, I mean, it's just got so many interesting colors. There's greens, there's blues, there's purples. Great texture. It's so lovely. All the different tones that it takes on. Purplish colors, greenish colors. There's some dianthus mixed in there as well. Makes for a nice little carpet. Some more of the dianthus there. And the great mosses that pop up in the path. So I really like the way these two cast iron planters turned out with their winter decorations. Kind of did a mirror image on the two. And this is the first time using these Britt Marie Crawford Ligularia stems in there. It's these little daisy looking things here. I'm hoping they'll hold up over the winter. They're so pretty in there. Some dogwood stems in there also. Some of the threadleaf arborvitae in the front here. And some pine and fir in there as well. Simple arrangement, but I think it really works with the two of them together. It's very pretty. It's a lot of fun decorating the winter containers. Here's that Angelina sedum taking on that nice color that it gets this time of year. Kind of orangey, rosy colors in there. And this lovely weeping crab just keeps stretching its arms out. The aronia or chokeberry is still feeding the wildlife, but they've been getting a lot of use. As you can see by the sidewalk underneath, which is pretty well stained from all the droppings of the berries. And keeping the bench clean has been a bit of a challenge. And the sidewalk quite stained up from the berries on our stone path. So the birds have been really gobbling these berries up in the past few weeks. A fun new addition to the garden this year. Actually, I just put it out yesterday. It's this piece. It's an old coffee maker, probably about 100 years old. Picked it up pretty cheap, 50 bucks. So I thought it'd be a nice kind of fun thing to put out in the garden. The water feature in the pergola has been emptied of water and tucked away with its winter cover. The musclewood in the back there has a nice big cage on it, protected for the winter. The grapevine is bare of leaves, and you can see the many branches that have filled in over the summer. So in late winter, this grapevine will get a heavy pruning. About 75% of these branchy growths will be removed. So there's still a lot of interest in the garden at this time of year. And I think it's still really beautiful.